Hey guys, it's John here from Sonic Drive Studio. I hope you're all doing well. To boost or not to boost? That's the age-old question that this series aims to answer. It's basically an epic quest for the ultimate guitar tone, featuring many great amplifiers, many kick-ass guitars, and many great guitar pedals. So this journey is going to be a lot of fun, so be sure to smash that subscribe button to follow along. Today's episode will feature my beloved Marshall JCM 2000 DSL50 amplifier. A very powerful and versatile Marshall amplifier with a lot of great tones in it, ranging from clean all the way up to crunchy, fat high gain tones and everything in between. Today we're going for a nice and crunchy hard rock or metal rhythm tone with my ESP LTD Elite Eclipse 1 with a Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge. The high gain characteristics of this amplifier are very nice, very nicely saturated, with a nice low end thump, sizzly top end and barky mids. However, the low end response on this amplifier isn't super tight with high gain tones like a JVM for example, so we're going to try this amplifier without and with a boost to see which option sounds better. Now I did ask you guys via Instagram and Facebook which boost pedal you'd like to see me try this amplifier with. And a lot of you guys either requested the Maxon OD808 overdrive, and a lot of you also requested the Boss Super Overdrive SD1 pedal, two classics. So in this episode, we're just going to do both pedals and also just kind of compare the two. Let's take a listen to the DSL50 first in its pure and raw form, so without a boost pedal up front. I'm on the Ultra Gain 2 channel to be precise, and all the EQ controls, including the presence and the gain, are all set at 6. And I do have the deep voicing switch enabled for that thick and chunky low end. The amp is being fed into my new best friend, the Red 7 Amp Central Reactive Load. It's a glorious reactive load that I recently reviewed on the channel. Do check out my full demo and review up here and down here as well. I think you'll love it. And that signal is being fed into an awesome sounding York Audio impulse response from the MRSH 412 Jack Black, Black Jack, Jack Black, Black Jack package, which is based on a Marshall 4x12 loaded with vintage Celestion G12H30 blackback speakers. And I'm on Mic Mix 01 to be precise. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that right now. Here we go. Awesome, that sounded great. Perhaps a little bit fat around the low end as I expected, but definitely not a bad sound at all. Plenty of saturation and nice and thick. However, now let's try the amplifier with a boost pedal up front, just to make it sound a little bit more tight, more articulate, and to let it sit in the mix a little bit better. And for this example, I'm just going to be alternating between the Maxon OD808 overdrive and the Boss Super Overdrive SD1. The amp settings and everything will be exactly the same as the previous clip. Here we go. Both pedals really seem to tighten up the amp very nicely, and they do have their own unique flavors going on. Now let's do an A-B back-to-back comparison where we alternate between the unboosted amp, the Maxon OD808, the unboosted amp again, and then the Boss SD1 overdrive. Let's go ahead and check that out right now. Here we go. Awesome! And now that same thing again, but this time with the guitars isolated, so without the drums and bass. Here we go. Very cool. Again, as in the last episodes, it was a lot of fun to hear the differences there. Now, what are my thoughts? Well, I think that the amplifier sounds great without a boost, a pretty thick low end and plenty of saturation. However, it's not super tight sounding. It is a little bit loose in the low end. For these high gain chuggy riffs, it's probably better to have a little bit of a tighter sound with a bit more punch, directness and clarity. Of course, you could always mess a little bit with the controls, with the EQ and the gain control to make it sound a little bit more tight, but the response will never be as tight as it could be with a boost pedal up front. So for higher gain tones, in this instance, I did prefer the amplifier with a boost on. But which one of the boosts? Well, they both sounded great in their own way. I think the Maxon OD808 sounded a little bit more smooth and perhaps a little bit more compressed. And the Boss Super Overdrive sounded kind of similar, but it did have more sort of top end grind and bite, more bite in the mid-range. It sounded a little bit tighter as well, and perhaps a little bit more dynamic as well. So in this case, I think I'm going to go for the Boss Super Overdrive SD1. It just seems to work very well with this Marshall DSL50 amplifier. Both sounded absolutely great though, and yeah, they both could work very well in a mix. Of course, I would also love to know your thoughts, so be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Did you prefer the amp unboosted in its pure and raw form, or did you prefer it with a boost perhaps? And if so, which boost pedal did you prefer? The Maxon OD808 or the Boss SD1? That's all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a subscribe and a like, as that would really help the channel out. I'd really appreciate that. And you can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Cheers!